What if I told you that there was a janitor who never made more than minimum wage, died with about $9 million to his name? And the cool thing is, you could follow his same exact blueprint and you could also create massive wealth. And it doesn't even really have to take like millions of dollars to even do this. It can just take your normal everyday wage, and that can make you a millionaire right here, right today. Now stick with me, because in today's video we're going to be talking about 5 different proven ways that you can use his blueprint to make yourself a millionaire. Hey guys, my name is Steve and I run the Frugal Expat website where we try to help people to save more and invest better. And today we're talking about how you can become a millionaire on a low income salary. First of all, let's talk about the Ronald Reed story. Now, Ronald Reed is a janitor who died in 2014, and he died at the age of 92. And when he died, his neighbors were kind of shocked because he had $9 million invested and saved up while he died. And this was just not some just ordinary man. He was very ordinary. He was a janitor. He worked at a gas pump and pumped gas, and he lived in rural Vermont. And he just had, just a regular home. He bought secondhand clothes, had used cars, and this guy was not just your rich neighbor. He was just a average Joe who lived on a minimum wage. And what he did with that minimum wage was he invested it for his future, and he accumulated massive wealth and became a millionaire. Now, you can do these same exact things. Now, he just made this simple approach and he created lots of wealth, and you can do that too. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 proven ways that he used to become a millionaire. And you can do the same things with just a little bit of income and a little bit of planning to make this happen. So if you're thinking that you're stuck and you have not enough money to retire, or you're thinking that maybe this minimum wage job is going to be the end of your life, well, think twice. Because you too can become a millionaire with a low income salary. And all it takes is 5 simple steps to make this happen. We're gonna go over that. Step 1 is to live frugally. Now, I'm not talking about being cheap, as in like eating like rice and beans every single day. No. What we're talking about is making every single dollar being used intentionally. That means that when we have a dollar to spend, we don't just spend it like wastefully. We want to make sure we have quality. We want to make sure that every dollar has an intention for our budget. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of these things. Ronald Reed used to chop wood into his 80s. He bought used clothes, he bought secondhand cars, and all these things kind of compounded. And the reason he was frugal was so that he can invest most of his money in order to kind of earn and compound over time. So what you can start doing today is to, first of all, for the next 30 days, track your expenses. Use a Google Sheet, use a budget app, do something where you can track every single dollar you are spending. And at the end of the month, see some of the places you are wasting your money. Maybe you're having too much coffee out at Starbucks. Instead, you could be making coffee at home. Maybe you're spending way too much money going out to eat instead of staying in. The average American spends anywhere between $3,000 and $4,000 a year going out to eat. That's about anywhere between $67 to about $76 a week. And that could be something that you could be saving instead of spending going out. So these are some things you can start to do today. Step number 2 is to pay yourself first with automatic savings. No, Ronald Reed knew this firsthand. He always set money aside before he started paying his bills, and this money aside was for his future. We are going to do the same exact things. Now, we're going to automate it so then we don't even have to look at it. First of all, let's set up like a percentage where this money can be taken out of our paycheck when we're paid, out of our checking account, and pushed into a good savings account where it's earning money, where you don't even see it, and then you can pay the bills with the rest of the money. This is like if you go to church and you give 10% to the church after your month, you can do the same thing with your money. So 10% is going to go to future self instead of for present self. So what you're going to do is maybe you take 5% out, 10%, maybe 15%. If you're a beginner, start low and then just build that muscle up. And what you can do is set up those automations within your bank accounts that goes to a good high yield savings account. There's some great ones on the market like Capital One and Ally have good ones. And one of my favorites is SoFi. Now, SoFi right now is offering a 3.8% interest on that money in your account. So that's a pretty good yield if you ask me. And one of the great things about SoFi, it's becoming one of the best banks out there. It's got investment accounts, it's got checking accounts, it's got savings accounts, and it also does a lot of loans for people that have student loans. So I'm going to leave a link in my description, and if you click on the link, you can get up to $300 in bonuses with a possibility when you deposit money into that account or set up a direct deposit. Now, this is an affiliate link, so if you click on it and sign up, I will get a small commission from it. Now, there's no cost to you, but it just helps out my channel, it helps me out. So if you liked SoFi and you want to sign up with the link. Like I said, it's a possibility of up to $300 bonus. So like I said, start off small. Maybe you want to do 5% because you don't have as much money, and then you can build that muscle up to 10%, automate it out, and then you can use the rest for your needs and your wants. All right, let's get on to our next step. Step 3 is going to be invest in simple, low-cost index funds or ETFs. Now on this channel, I'll talk a ton about ETFs and a little bit about some index funds. They're all about the same. So a good S&P 500 ETF or index fund is a good way to start investing. Now Ronald Reed saw this. He saw that he needed some investments, and so he picked blue chip stocks that he invested in, like Johnson & Johnson, CVS, Procter & Gamble, and started putting money into it. And after a long time, 30, 40, 50 years, that money grew into about $9 million, which is amazing. Now you can start to do the same thing. All you need to do is open up maybe a low-cost brokerage account with either Vanguard, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, or even M1 Finance. I can leave a link into my description with M1 Finance to help you guys out. And these brokerage companies can help you out. You can start with a simple ETF like VOO, or even like VTI or even SEHB. Now these track broad market S&P 500 companies, and so then you are able to have a piece of the stock market. Now the cool thing with this is we're not just investing for like 30 days, we're not investing for 3 months, we're not investing for 1 year, we're investing for 15, 20, 30, 40 years down the line. So let me give you a little bit of some good math. So if you were to invest $300 for the next 30 years at a 10% rate, I say 10% because it's an easy number. The S&P 500 has been averaging around 10% yearly anyway. And with that 10% for that 30 years, investing just $300 every single month, which is about $10 a day, it can get you around $620,000. Now that doesn't sound like much, but let's say you do this for 35 years. At 35 years, that amount of money has increased to over $1 million. Now, I know what you're thinking in the comments. You're like, Steve, what about that inflation? Oh yeah, that's a good question. Now, let's say we subtract 3% for inflation, it has 7% return. Now, if we were to invest $300 at 7% return for the next 45 years, you will have over $1 million. So that's the power of compounding, that's the power of money. Now, if you were to increase that instead of $300 to maybe $500, that money is going to hit $1 million way faster. So the earlier you start, the better it will be for your future. So start today, open up a brokerage account, start putting that money to work. That is the power of investing into simple index funds and simple ETFs. Step number 4 is to create multiple income streams. I know what you're thinking. You have a job and maybe it's not making ends meet. Well, that's why we have the ability to create multiple income streams. Right now, the internet is swarming with different possibilities. You've got DoorDash. You can sell things on Etsy or Shopify. You can create income through maybe writing, maybe making videos like I am doing, or even mowing the lawn next door or cleaning swimming pools. There are so many possibilities out there that you could tap into today. And what you could be doing is using your W-2 as your main income source to pay all those bills, and all the side hustle income could be towards investing. So if you could make maybe $100 a week in a side hustle, that's $400 a month possibility, and you can invest that for your future, that could grow into a massive snowball. So right now is to think about, what are your skills? What can you do? What are some things that you could possibly sell and make money off? So let's say you are good at math, you could tutor it. Let's say you're good at creating photos, you can sell photos online. Let's say you're good at writing, you could be a freelance writer. There are so many different possibilities. Maybe you're good with dogs, you could be a dog sitter. Maybe you're good with sitting at houses, you could be a house sitter. There are so many opportunities out there. So start looking at opportunities that you could create a second or third income source and use that money to invest for your future. Step number 5 is to think in decades and not in years. Now I was talking about this with investing, and this is very true of compounding interest. Einstein once called compounding interest the 8th wonder of the world. And what it means is, when we put $1,000 into our bank account, it's not really doing much. But if we put $1,000 that is compounding at 7 to 10% yearly for the next, not 5 years, not 10 years, but like 20, 30, 40, or even 50 years, that amount of money is going to increase so much. Like I said before, if we were to invest $300 for 35 years at a 10% rate, that's gonna hit $1 million. Now, if we were to increase that time to maybe 40 or even 50 years, think about the possibilities of that money. That money is going to continue to compound and grow over time. So you have the ability right now to not just think in years, but to think in decades. That means when markets crash, don't sell everything. Continue to buy and buy and buy. Markets crashed in 2000. Markets crashed 2008. They crashed in 2020 for the COVID crisis. They were down in 2022, but the people that are really making a lot of money off the market are the ones that are sitting still and they're continuing to invest for the long term. Don't think in years, think in decades and continue to invest for your future. Every single day, just think about how you can save more, think about how you can earn more, think about how you can invest more, and you will become a millionaire at the end of this road. Now, we just went over 5 different steps in order for you to turn your low income salary into a millionaire portfolio. All you have to do is, master frugality and pay yourself first. Invest in simple index funds or ETFs. Create multiple income streams and think in future, not with time, but with decades and years ahead of you. Those are some things that Ronald Reed did. He accumulated $9 million, but what can you accumulate? Can you accumulate more? It's so many possibilities out there. And don't just think, I'm just making a minimum wage, I'm not gonna be able to earn too much. No, that is the wrong thinking. You need to think, all right, I can save $2 every single hour. I can save possibly $10 extra today and invest that for my future. That's what you gotta think about. And this will change your life. This will change the way you think about money. So let me know in the comments, how are you doing on your income? How are you doing with investments? Do you invest? Do you automatically save? And like I said, if you're looking for a great high yield savings account, I'm gonna leave a link to SoFi, and make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in our next video.